We've got the refreshed Toyota Corolla Hybrid.
And it's all-wheel drive, and Andrea's really excited to drive it because she's got her red racing boots on. Woo, Corolla, let's go. Racing red boots, hits the throttle. We're coming up to the corner.
Oh yeah, look at this. Wow, does this ever handle well?
Yeah, it's actually a very good platform. Andrea, we have the newly updated Corolla with an all-wheel drive system. What's under the hood of this thing?
A 1.8 liter four-cylinder matched to an e-CVT and Toyota's hybrid Synergy drive. A combined 138 horsepower and front-wheel drive as well as all-wheel drive options are available.
And you're probably wondering, why are they updating the Corolla now? Well, you know that there's a brand new Prius and it's kind of gone up market a little bit, so this is filling in the void of that. All right, we're going to get into what do you get if you buy a Corolla Hybrid.
The Corolla comes standard with a 7-inch multi-information display, an 8-inch touchscreen, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, a 6-speaker audio system, fabric upholstery, manual front seats, heated front seats, keyless entry, and Toyota Safety Sense 3.0, including blind spot monitoring and rear cross traffic alert. In the US, blind spot monitoring and rear cross traffic alert, along with the 7-inch multi-information display, are not standard.
So you have settings, you have Eco, Sport, and Normal. What else can you put it in?
You got to put it in S for subscribe, and if you can hit that notification bell, you'll be notified when all of our reviews drop in, then you can watch them.
And we do this, the couple car review twice a week. The first one drops on Wednesday.
We put another one out on Saturday.
So make sure you subscribe, follow along, most importantly, hit that notification bell, but also follow on Instagram. It's Motormouth_Andrea to see what's going on behind the scenes. For me, it's Motormouth_Auto, and the links are below the like button. All joking aside, this is a very nice update. What do you think over there?
Oh, I'm super impressed with this. You know, I was a little bit concerned about the combined 138 horsepower. I said it to Zach before we got it. But you know what? It actually has sufficient power. When you're driving in the city, the cabin remains fairly quiet. Yes, when you get on the highway and you accelerate quickly, the cabin noise does increase, but overall, the power is pretty good.
So if you've ever gone on the website and you look up the gas model and then you look up this hybrid, you think to yourself, it's lackluster because the power rating and the torque number is much lower, but they don't actually add in the electric motor at the front and the small electric motor at the back for the all-wheel drive system in the torque number. They just give the gasoline engine because they're all coming on at different times.
That's right. Well, that's the great thing about electrification is the acceleration from a stop, or if you're trying to pass on the highway, you get that extra power. It's that torque that I love. So I find that this Corolla Hybrid is fantastic when it comes to that. This refreshed model gets enhanced braking control, and the SE and XSE models get a firmer feel to the steering. It's electronic power steering, and it gives it a bit of a sportier feel.
Yeah, this is a very sporty looking vehicle as well. We'll get to that in just a second. So why is all of this happening? Once again, the Prius has come out and they've moved it up market, and we actually said to them, why are you making the Prius so expensive? And they correctly pointed out, they said, you know, the Prius used to do all of the lifting in the hybrid front if you wanted a car, along with the Camry. And now they've got this, and they also have the Corolla Cross Hybrid that we're going to drive in a short time. So combined, they have quite a portfolio.
Although it's the same engine as the previous model, it now has more power. The previous model had 121 horsepower. This has a newly developed lithium-ion battery that is under the rear seat, so you're getting some pretty good cargo capacity because of that in a sedan.
So the Corolla Hybrid that has been for sale for several years was only sold in the Canadian market with one trim in a package. It was basic, real basic. It had steel wheels and hubcaps, barf, and it had no sunroof. I could care less about that. Now they've expanded the portfolio to the extra trims Andrea just mentioned. So now you can actually have a Corolla Hybrid. It's the ultimate Uber car. We were on a business trip recently and we got in and out of a bunch of Ubers, and most of them were Corollas.
This has got 5.3 inches of ground clearance. It comes standard with LED headlights and LED taillights. Some of the refreshes for 2023 include a new front fascia, rear bumpers. It comes standard with 15-inch wheels. 16-inch are standard in the US, the 15-inch are standard in Canada. And this new XSE model comes with a new sport diffuser. It also has new LED headlamps, a redesign, and it also has 18-inch wheels.
I don't know if I'd go for this top model. We're going to get to the price later when we do our vital stats. It's getting a little spendy for this top sportier looking one. I would be quite happy because the whole thing is about being frugal, right?
Right.
You're buying a Corolla. First of all, it's a Corolla. It's got to be a frugal car, and then it's a hybrid. So I want to keep the price down. So there are other options in there that I'd probably go for. I don't need my Corolla to look like a boy racer unless it's a GR Corolla, Andrea.
Well, I want my Corolla to look like a boy racer, which is why I've got the red boots on. So I am into this XSE trim for just over $37,000 in Canada. And I will tell you why, because this trim comes with the Softex seats. I get a power driver's seat, and I also get heated rear seats in the back.
Oh yeah, you know what? Okay, all right. I'm not sure if I'm going to spend $37 large just to get heated rear seats because I don't sit back there often. The only time I sat back there was to film the dashboard, and it was windy and cold, and I put them on, and I was quite happy. So there's a case for that, but not 37 grand. Sorry.
Well, I want a power driver's seat, so this is the one I'm getting. Now, if you don't want to spend all that, I recommend going up one from the base model. That's where you're going to get the heated steering wheel in Canada, and then the two top trims in Canada get you the wireless charger as well as the moonroof. Unfortunately, in Canada, we do not get the JBL sound system like the US buyers get, but we found this sound system to actually be pretty good.
Yeah, we were actually looking to see if there was a JBL little sticker somewhere because the stereo, Andrea was jamming to Chris Stapleton, and she was enjoying it a lot.
Now, in the US, the trims are a little bit different. There is some odd packaging in the US, and also the top XLE trim in the US is a front-wheel drive only model. Yet all of the other models have front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive options.
That's odd, isn't it? You know what, just quickly before we get into questions, coffee, and cars and a bunch more, I'm actually really quite impressed with this trim anyway, with the level of materials. It's not fancy, but it's good quality, and it's comfortable. What do you think about the radio stuck up there? I don't know. To me, I'm okay with this because same thing. If I can get it for a pretty good deal, I'm happy to live with that.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way about it. It's not a deal breaker. It's a standard 8-inch touchscreen, and you get standard wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto in this Corolla. Plus, in Canada, it comes standard with a 7-inch digital driver display. In the US, standard is a 4.2-inch, but available 7-inch.
All right, here's me getting in the back seat. There's a reason why Uber drivers love these. First of all, they're reliable and they're roomy in the back seat, and they're comfortable. Toyota does a very good job with the foam they use in their seats, so I'd be happy with this. How does it stack up?
Comparing the Corolla Hybrid to other competitors like the Toyota Prius and Hyundai Elantra Hybrid, the Corolla offers some good front row legroom at 42 inches, but it's the Prius with the most at 43.2 inches. Second row legroom in the Corolla is the exact same as the Prius, but it's the Elantra that offers the most at 38 inches.
Of course, this is a sedan, so there's no power operated trunk, but it is a very useful side. And of course, the back seats fold down. You can flip one or the other or both.
Cargo space is the smallest compared to the Elantra and the Prius, with the Prius having the most at 23.8 cubic feet, depending on the trim you choose.
Do I have to tip you like I do a Uber driver?
Yes, you do, especially with the red boots.
Oh, okay. Here's a tip. Don't stare at the sun. Okay, here we go. Let's get into your questions.
Time now for questions, coffee, and cars.
Brought to you by Carmigo, the easiest way to sell your car on your terms.
Your questions from Instagram.
Does it come with a manual transmission? And if not, what sedans have it?
Well, this year, for 2023, they announced the manual transmission gone, except if you get the GR Corolla, you know, the high-performance version of the hatchback, which is too bad. Quick story before you answer what other ones are available. We were, back to my point, this is the ultimate Uber car. We were in Toronto at an event, and we got an Uber from downtown to the hotel at the airport, and the guy was driving a manual Corolla, and we were all applauding him because he was driving Uber with a manual.
Yeah, it was pretty cool to see. I wish that the manual was still here. I think a lot of people who enjoy a manual transmission are disappointed that Toyota eliminated it. So what other cars come with it? Nissan Sentra has it, the Mazda 3, the Volkswagen GTI, the Golf R, the Jetta. What else? Can you think of any others?
Yeah, you would have to go into...
Oh, Civic hatchback.
Yeah, there's cars out there. They still exist. Get them while you can. Just announced Subaru ditched the manual and the Crosstrek, so they're going away year after year. This is another victim of that.
No PHEV for 2024, but a great base price. Yeah, it is a good base price, and no plug-in hybrid. I'm not sure that I would really want one for this because the wait time would be huge.
Well, they had something similar. They had the Prius, the one that's just finishing being sold now, as a plug-in hybrid, and it wasn't too expensive. It was in the Canadian market anyway, the low 30s, and there was some good value there, but the range was pretty lackluster. So the Prius plug-in will be the one you want if you want to plug in, and maybe when this is totally refreshed, that'll come.
This video is brought to you by Carmigo. It's a marketplace that connects sellers and buyers in the easiest way possible.
All right, if you've ever tried to sell your own car, you know it's a lot of work. You have a lot of tire kickers, a lot of wasted time. People don't show up for their appointments. It is really a headache. So how would you like to sell your car and get multiple offers within 24 hours and you set the minimum price?
With Carmigo, all you need to do is upload your car's details with pictures. It takes about 15 minutes, and then you set your minimum price. Then Carmigo collects offers from a nationwide network of buyers.
And then after one day, the buyer with the highest bid wins.
Carmigo will collect $350 from you as a sell fee after your vehicle sells at the price you agreed to.
So they have set up a community for Motormouth. Click on the link in the description below. Go on there, check it out, and you can sign up and save $50. It's a great deal.
Okay, let's get back to your questions. Is an all-wheel drive really needed for a sedan like a Corolla? I think it is in Canada. I think it's a great option. I'm super happy Toyota brought this in because most sedans are front-wheel drive.
Well, yeah, you know, this class of vehicle, they're almost all front-wheel drive. You don't have to have it. It's a nice thing to have. You just need to invest in a really good set of winter tires and you'll be able to get where you're going. This doesn't add a ton of all-wheel drive capability, but it's a little bit of extra. Andrea was doing some drive-bys and going around a corner, going up a hill and punched it, and she was surprised.
I was super surprised how peppy it is. We do this same corner, and as I'm approaching the hill, I have to slow down, and I brake, and then sometimes with a lower horsepower vehicle, I struggle to go up the hill, but I had Zach on Bluetooth and I was like, oh my gosh, this is super peppy. I can't believe it's capable of it. So it is impressive.
And now it's time for our hot topic. What's this one, Andrea?
With the release of the new Prius and its powertrain, I'm surprised they didn't up the power for the Corolla. Is there plans to give it more power?
Hey, you want a Corolla with a lot of power, you get that GR Corolla hatchback.
Yeah.
But that's not what this is about. This is about fuel economy and overall savings. And because they've moved the Prius up market, they still have to have an offering that is different, and that's why I think this still exists.
And a more affordable option. It's all about a grade walk. If they gave this the same horsepower as the Prius all-wheel drive model, 196 horsepower, then why would you bother to buy this? There's an $8,000 Canadian savings on the top trim of this model versus the top trim of the Prius. That's a substantial difference for people. So if you're looking for a more affordable option, I would say that this Corolla would be the one to get.
And this is kind of a traditional looking car, right? So the Prius stands out as a future technology vehicle, especially the new one looks very sleek, but some people might just want to have a car that just blends in and looks like a regular Corolla, and that's what this is. Okay, so you probably want to know what is the price and also the fuel economy and more in our vital stats.
Let's start with pricing. We'll do Canada first and then move on to the US. There are new regulations in place for the Canadian market. All pricing now includes freight and delivery, dealer fees, and levies. The base front-wheel drive model starts at just over $28,500 Canadian, and the top XSE all-wheel drive model is just over $37,000. In the US, the base front-wheel drive model starts at just over $22,500, and the top XLE front-wheel drive model is just over $26,500 US.
Let's get into why you're here. The fuel economy, 5 liters per 100 kilometers in the city, 5.7 on the highway. That's 47 miles per gallon city, 41 miles per gallon highway. Toyota offers a warranty of 3 years, 60,000 kilometers or 36,000 miles. In the United States, you get complimentary scheduled maintenance for 2 years or 25,000 miles. So you want a fuel-efficient, compact car or hatchback? Let's see what else you can buy.
For your consideration, 4 vehicles for you to consider.
Up first is the Hyundai Elantra Hybrid with a 1.6-liter 4-cylinder and an electric motor, a combined 139 horsepower, and a starting price under $25,000.
The sibling to this is the Toyota Prius with a 2-liter hybrid 4-cylinder and a combined 196 horsepower and a starting price of $36,500.
The Kia Niro Hybrid is a 1.6-liter 4-cylinder and a 6-speed dual-clutch transmission, a combined 139 horsepower, and a starting price just under $30,000.
Now the one to watch is the new Honda Civic Hybrid coming soon to North America. No word yet from Honda when it will arrive.
So there are 4 hybrids for you to consider.
Lightning round. 2 things we like, 2 things we like to see improved.
I really like how this handles.
I like the fact they now have more trims available in this car.
I'd love to see a height adjustment on the passenger side, even if it is a manual.
I'm with Andrea. It should have at least a ratchet style. Get on it.
If you're looking for an affordable sedan and a hybrid option, check this Corolla out.
All jokes aside about the Corolla, this is the best Corolla yet. XSE wouldn't be my choice though.